We have a new map, and I think it's fair to say that it's the best Apex map for creative movement we have ever had. I investigated what kind of secret spots and tips and tricks there are on this movement playground, so you can have the most fun on it as possible. Welcome to E-District. Snugglebounce is back. This was a movement technique that worked on the big sliding doors in the other maps, but was silently removed with Season 20. Now it's back on the turbine blades and draft point. You basically want to wall bounce Tap-Strafe off the blade as it's coming towards you. These roofs that are scattered around the map let you surf on them. This is the same mechanic as surfing in Counter-Strike, so some core elements are the same, but cause it's Apex there are some differences. Surfaces like this have always existed in Apex. This is just the first time we have some that are long enough to get significant surfs going and use them as a viable gameplay mechanic. I'm gonna split my explanation into levels. Level 1. Holding sideways into the roof extends your surf significantly. Here's me with no input dropping off and with a sideways input easily making it onto the road. Level 2. How strong your surf is directly tied to your air acceleration. Horizon's passive gives you higher air acceleration, so she can surf much better, even giving you some control based on where you look. With a pure sideways input and looking straight, you can pretty much surf forever. But then she also has some weird interactions with a forward input, where you can accelerate out of a standstill. Level 3. Because we are not actually touching the ground and technically just air strafing, you can keep your double jump and use it even during or after surfing. Level 4. Because the roofs technically act like walls, you can grab them. Because you can grab them, you can jump off them. For that you don't even need to hold forward, just turning into the roof will automatically grab it. See how my heirloom disappears here? That's me grabbing the roof. If you then jump out of a grab, you can keep all that momentum into the jump. And because you can jump, you can also tap-strafe out of a surf. You could also tap-strafe onto that subscribe button. Level 5. Because the roofs technically act like walls, you can climb on them. This opens up all other wall tech, like wall runs, climb extends, U-bounces, etc. Here's a clip from Big Fatigue doing U-bounces very successfully. Go follow him on TikTok. Revenant can do his absurdly long sideways wall runs. You can extend your surf even longer with climbs, but this is also where my expertise is dwindling. We are in the middle of some discussions around this and some things aren't 100% certain yet. I will link to some guides about U-bounces and the climbing zones in the description if you want to take this as an opportunity to deepen your understanding about wall mechanics. Just know that surfing is very much an evolving topic right now. I am fairly certain these roofs will appear in some absolutely nasty movement clips over the next months as we learn more about them and more people realize their potential. If you hit a sick clip, share it with us in the Apex Rollout subreddit. Little extra info, don't even try to mantle jump on these zips to the roofs unless you are Revenant. You will just fall off, since super jumps keep the same climb height as the ground you did them from. Even super gliding off the platform doesn't seem worth it over just jumping off the zip. There are directional mantle jump opportunities, but we'll get to mantle jump spots later in the video, together with spots for super glides, wall bounces and grapple slingshots. Here's a very neat Fallstun Cancel that Thiep showed me. Go follow him on Twitch. A skydive cancel that's really dope is this one in Energy Depot, where you can land on this big ramp and get yeeted forward and can then even combine it with legend abilities to preserve that momentum. But sometimes you just get stuck on this ridge instead of it flinging you forward. Sometimes you slide over it and have to jump at the bottom. To ensure that you're getting the big yeet, you have to land at the very top, above this glowing line, and slide all the way down to the ridge. Jump as you reach it. If you hit the big slope below the glowing line, you can hold forward and climb to prevent getting stuck on the ridge, as Gruic showed in his recent video about E-District. Now on to the gravity launchers. A map with where they are is available on Apexlegendstatus, but I also made my own movement map for E-District, where everything mentioned in this video is marked on it. Both are linked in the description. There are two main launcher types, vertical ones and horizontal ones. Here's what I found about the horizontal ones so far. Let's first talk about legend interactions. The dopest of course is Horizon, since she gets to keep all the speed all the time. The second dopest is Pathfinder, since he also gets to keep all the speed, but has to actually work for it. For that we are using grapple momentum carries, where you literally just grapple anything around you, which converts all your momentum into horizontal momentum. Octane gets air strafing on the gravity launchers. For that you want to throw your jump pad into the corner and very deep towards the end. And as long as you're still a sliver over the jump pad as you go through it, you can avoid taking the jump pad, but can now air strafe out of a gravity launcher. Here's the good news about Valkyrie. She gets moon boots on the launchers. Jetpack above a launcher, let yourself fall into it while holding forward, get launched higher up and further. At Stadium you can even use this to fly over the top to escape. Sadly it seems that moon boots does not work on vertical launchers. And Caustic gets to land on his traps. All the other legends can still land much better off gravity cannons with Edgeboosts. Energy Bank might be the most interesting one, since this is definitely the #1 hot drop of District, and just by it being in the middle of the map, you'll get a lot of playtime here. And because the launchers are on the ground, the Fallstun Cancel gives you a lot of useful speed. If you're going east, just walk into the launcher on the left and use very tiny corrections to the left to land on this rock. You're aiming for this edge with a bit of bias towards the green arrow. I haven't found an easily reproducible method if you're going west. You have to do side-to-side corrections and backwards corrections to land on this edge. Play around with it till you find the timing that feels good to you personally. At Shipyard Arcade, on this side going north, if you hold left the whole way through, you will just land in the staircase, where you can slide into the booth at the bottom. For that it doesn't matter where you walk into the launcher. On this side going south, if you walk in all the way to the left, you can land on the edge of this bench very reliably, often not even requiring any corrections at all. And going north, you can walk in all the way to the left and hold right the whole way through, to very reliably edge boost off the side of the roof. Humbert Labs is a bit unique. These are the only launchers where holding backwards lets you land on the ramp of the launcher itself. Or in the launcher if that's something you desire. Landing on the ramp will already prevent fall stun. For that you want to walk into the launcher on one of the sides, hold backwards the whole way through, and then just do a tiny sideways correction as you fall towards the launcher. Let go of backwards before you land. But if you want to really keep your momentum, you need to slow down just a tiny bit so you edge boost off the end of the ramp. But after some practice, this feels very reliable. For the ones in Stadium, you can do a bunch of stuff with the zipline pole. For that you want to walk in a bit to the right and then hold backwards and sideways the whole way through. You can try to land on the pole, in the launcher again, or even directly in the zipline. For the gravity launchers between City Hall and Resort, we are aiming for the back side of the loot bins. If you're going northeast, walk in all the way to the left and hold right till you pass the apex of your launch. Then start holding backwards and do slight corrections. If you're going southwest, walk in on the right and hold back and right the whole way through, only letting go just before you're about to hit the loot bin as a last second correction. In the Lotus, the backside of the loot bins are again our goal and are very easy to hit. This gives you a perfect ramp to slide off and catapults you a lot further than just missing the platform. A perfect edge boost even lets you Tap-Strafe down to the lower launchers, as LdqAim shows in this clip. They are working on a Lotus specific guide, so sub to their YouTube. While we are in the Lotus, for some reason it's the only POI where you can Tap-Strafe off the gravity launchers. All the other ones do not let you do that. I'm not 100% sure if this was an accident or intentional. The Lotus is very unique in that it has 4 buildings with 4 gravity launchers that sit across each other. That's the only spot in the map where they're not just parallel. So I could imagine that the developer that placed them went, let the mouse and keyboard demons have some fun here. It's only one POI, It's already 4 big zipline buildings, let's give them a little playground. And even if it was not intentional, I wouldn't be surprised if they just keep it. To practice this, try to Tap-Strafe off a jump pad without using the double jump. Try to do it later and earlier till you find the sweet spot. Once you can do that, you can try it on the gravity launchers. I can only tell you to watch these clips and try to emulate the timing. Other than that, it just comes down to Tap-Strafe skill and experience. And do not hold sideways after the Tap-Strafe, that will steal so much momentum. On to vertical gravity launchers. On them you get shot up at first and then gain the ability to move around once you get towards the top. The movement on them works to all sides. You get the same distance whether you hold forward or backwards and sideways. But don't hold yourself to just going into one direction. If you correct early enough, you get to reverse your direction pretty drastically. And if you have already committed to one direction for too long, you can still use that momentum to air strafe away from it. A funky thing I noticed is if you hit a launcher while crouched, you can tilt your camera with sideways inputs. There's one single gravity cannon in the map at Electrodam, and the typical legend interactions of course also work on it. With this video you became an expert on E-District. But there still might be topics in your life where you'd love to also become an expert. And you can do that by launching yourself onto Brilliant, the learning platform where you learn by doing, which is today's sponsor. No matter what you'd like to become an expert on, critical thinking and problem solving skills play a part in all of them. Brilliant puts these at the forefront of their courses. So no matter if you do one of their thousands of lessons on computer science, scientific thinking, AI, math or any of the other topics, you can always count on them being filled with hands-on problem solving that lets you play with concepts. A method proven to be 6 times more effective than watching lecture videos. And it's fun. Their lessons are visually interesting and interactive, which massively helps in actually forming a daily habit. If you ever tried to learn and become proficient at a new movement tech, you know how powerful daily practice is. To try everything Brilliant has to offer for free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/smokysniper or click on the link in the description. You'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription.